don't know. Joel and I would like to speak to you today about why we are so moved to be involved in other people's children in the form of Amit. We're taking a slightly different tack here. We began as parents 41 years ago in Seattle, Washington, and went on to raise 3 children, and it's been a remarkable and joyous and fortunate journey. But also at times it's been challenging, and that has been under the best of circumstances with the strong support of family, friends, community at our fingertips. We were introduced to Amit in a serious way by dint of my mother, Roselle Silberstein Zahl's long-standing and dedicated commitment to this organization and all that it stood for. Until our first mission, which brought us face-to-face with the principals and students, we really had no idea how important Amit was and how important it was to become in our lives. Our first stop was to the Gush Dan High School for Boys on the Bar Ilan campus, where gifted young men wanted to study both Limudei Kodesh and the sciences. We were moved by the principal who explained that this school was unique in its mission in 1992 and fulfilled an unprecedented need in Israel. From there, we went to Beit Hayeled in Gilo, where we met with Nitzchia Eldar, who is the directress and the Aim Al Kulam, who with the help of 12 surrogate parent couples cared for 144 of the most abused and neglected children in Israel. We met a young boy who had scars from cigarette burns on his body, and a girl who had witnessed the murder of her parent. Other children whose parents were on drugs, in jail, or walked the streets. These were 2 very opposite stories of 2 very different schools, each with a valid reason to be united under the Amit umbrella. Each with their own mission to value each child, to educate each child in order to maximize their potential, and to see to it that a quality of life was an option for each of them. Amit is a national reshed of 75 schools throughout Israel. We are the voice of Torah, Avodah, Gemilut Chasadim, science, math, English, environmental studies, animal therapy, art, music, even a girls' Hesder Yeshiva, and so much more for the 20,000 precious students under our care each year. 100,000 graduates are leading more meaningful Jewish lives in the land of Israel because of us. 95% of whom joined Tzahal or Sheirut Leumi, which is the ticket to success in Israel. The citizenry of Israel is impacted by Amit through each child, from Afula to Beersheba, from Ma'ale Adumim to Chatzor, with the same love and attention and thoughtfulness that we could only attempt to provide for our own children. Thank you.
The Jewish parent is enjoined to educate his children according to the Torah, and there are many methods to bring Torah to children. We have seen the spectrum at the Amit Chavruta Yeshiva, where children learn Torah by traveling the length and breadth of Israel, by participating in a musical approach and all animal therapy approach, all kinds of other approaches. Also, a parent is enjoined to teach his child a trade, a vocation, something that will satisfy him and provide for the rest of his or her life. And there are many methods and there are limitations that many children have, and Amit manages to provide the kind of education suited for each individual so that he has a technological education, an agricultural education, an education in some field that will provide him a means to exist, to raise his own family. And similarly, a parent is enjoying to teach his child to swim, to deal with a perhaps unfamiliar environment, sometimes a hostile environment. These skills, Torah, a profession, and swimming, as examples, will provide a guarantee for the child for the rest of his life that he can cope with the vicissitudes that are inevitable and that occur. We attempted to do so for our children. Naively, 41 years ago, when our first child was born, we had the audacity to think that at 21 they were up and out. That was not to be. I feel extremely privileged to live in the kind of community that is represented by the congregation here. It is the home of many extraordinary past, present, and future leaders and contributors and donors to Amit, who give of themselves and of their resources to enable Amit to continue its work, even if the children involved are not biologically them, but they represent the future of the State of Israel as we would like to see it. At the same time, this devotion, dedication, and generosity on the part of our donors and leaders enables our own children, our own Henry, Sam, and Matthew, to see the importance of sharing with others the good fortune that we all have, and that Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Lozeh. We wish you, on Barbara and my behalf and our children, a Shana Tova Umetuka.